What's going on? Born for sports. And it's a tough time in New York Giants land. It's an off season that is going to have a lot of negativity. It's going to be a lot of off season talk that's going to be about what are the Giants going to do to get better. And of course, the elephant in the room is what are the Giants going to do to get a franchise quarterback? Well, that's yet to be determined how they're going to do it, as they're going to have some issues getting up to their guy if one of their guys is taken before them in the first two picks. But that's a story for another day. I'm here to bring some content and some Giants offseason talk because the offseason starts now. We all will want to be playing this week and have a game to watch today, tomorrow, and going forward in the playoffs, but we're not there. So what can the Giants do to improve their team is the story for us, Giant Nation. And I'm going to give you, in my opinion, what the Giants can do if they are able to draft their franchise quarterback in the first round. Okay. Now, before the draft comes, there's free agency. And in my opinion, if you know me, I am an offensive line guy, defensive line guy. I'm all about the big guys. Point of attack is the name of the game, in my opinion, if you want to win in this league. It's always been that way. I might be a little old school, but I am a point of attack guy. And to me, it starts in free agency. The Giants have to invest heavy in the offensive line. They have to finally get it right. And the way they get it right, in my opinion, is they got to invest heavy. Drafting hasn't worked. We all know that the draft misses Joe Shane has given us in Giant Nation, especially in offensive line. Okay. So drafting is cool and we need depth, but we also need major starters. And I can't think of any other person more deserving than of a bag in Trey Smith of the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, it's yet to be determined whether he's going to hit the market, and any of these players that are marquee players, top free agency players in the market, because we all know the franchise tag is always in play. But if the Kansas City Chiefs, who are working on another Super Bowl championship run, yet to be determined, if they let this man get to free agency, the Giants have to give him the bag. I don't want to hear it. Give Trey Smith the bag. No one is better in pass protection than Trey Smith at the guard position. Young guy, young guy in his prime, entering his prime, has championship makeup. That's the guy you want to invest in if you're the New York Giants. Trey Smith. Get it done. I don't care. Give him the highest contract in guard history. Do it. He is worth that and then some. He's a guy who's a grinder, a hard worker. He came out. I believe he was a 6th-round pick, not or whatever. Was not heavy recruited and talked about in the NFL draft when he came out. So this is an opportunity for the New York Giants to pounce. Invest in the trenches. It's time to get this offensive line right, especially if you're going to have a rookie quarterback. That we'll get to that in a minute. My next move in free agency will be give neighbors protection. Sign T. Higgins to be our wide receiver 1A. Let me tell you something. I'm a big T. Higgins fan. I've always been a T. Higgins guy. I've always loved that dude, man. And this guy is so good. He is the prototype wide receiver this New York Giant team needs, and any team needs. And it's going to be costly. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be costly, but in my opinion, he's worth it. If you're going to invest in drafting a franchise quarterback, a rookie franchise quarterback, you got to do two things. Number one, you got to take advantage of the fact that the salary cap implications are going to be not high to pay a rookie quarterback on that scale. So you can invest in certain positions that are important, And number two, you got to make it as easy as possible for your rookie quarterback and young quarterback to succeed in his first year and going forward in his development. And the two ways you do it is you invest in the offensive line and you invest in weapons. And I can't think of a better weapon to even go on that level because he's got the size, 6'5", over 200 pounds, runs fast, physical guy. It's been a while since we had a physical big receiver that can make plays, especially in the red zone. And this is the guy you want to do it with, man. The Bengals have decisions to make. They got to pay Jamar Chase. They got to pay T. Higgins. In my opinion, they're not paying both. Because they're going to get the bag. And if you're the Bengals, you have to invest in Jamar Chase first and foremost. If there's a chance to get Higgins, outbid him. Go get him. Make him. Give them the bag, whatever you need to do. The Giants have $100 million in the 2026 salary cap going forward anyway. This is the time to pounce to get things ready for your young signal caller to develop well. So that's what I'm doing. I'm giving Neighbors protection. And we already know what that's going to do. You're going to give more looks to Neighbors on one-on-one coverage out there, able to move him around more in the on snaps and formations. Oh, man, sign me up for that any day. Also, another thing, sign a veteran backup. You have and Carson Wentz and Jameis Winston. You got to invest in the backup quarterback. Our quarterback room was abysmal last year, okay? Between starting with Daniel Jones as being the best of the bunch, and then you had Drew Bumlock and Tommy Cutlet DeVito, overrated DeVito. It's time to move on from that. Go get yourself a backup quarterback who, number one, can help mentor your rookie quarterback and also be there to either, if the rookie quarterback isn't ready to play right away, he can come in and try to win you some games, or and whether it's injury or just not being ready yet. And also, if you need to start the season with a quarterback presence and get your rookie ready, he is the guy that can step in and you trust. The Giants' way has always been when they draft quarterbacks in the first round, they have a veteran to hold it down until they are ready to change. They did it with Sims, with Bruner back in the day. They did it with Eli Manning when Kerry Collins refused to be the guy to hold it down for. They went and signed Kurt Warner. And mid-season, week 9 or 10, they went to Eli and never looked back. And when they drafted Daniel Jones, they let Eli start the first 2 weeks, and then they transitioned to Daniel Jones, and that was that. So that's what you want to do. Go get your veteran quarterback. Now, as far as the draft goes, hey, if you're able to, I'm getting Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders in my pick. And I want to do it without trading up, okay? I do. But whatever way you get your guy, Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders is the guy to take with the third pick. I'm not taking anyone else. I'm not taking Milroe with my first-round pick and the third overall slot. I am not taking Jalen Milroe. I'm not taking Jackson Dart third overall. The only two quarterbacks that, in my opinion, are worthy of being drafted in the top 3 in this draft is Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. Go get your guy, determine it. Now, again, this is if we're able to. If you are, those are the guys that you want to pick. Cam Ward is my QB1, slightly over Shedeur Sanders because of his ability to extend plays and things like that. And in my opinion, he fits the overall team right now better. But give me Shedeur Sanders if you're unable to get him on. I will not complain. I'm a fan of Shedeur Sanders. I love what he can bring to the table. And down the road, we'll get into that. But like I said, it's contingent if the Giants are able to. Also, draft with the Giants will have the second pick in round 2 and the first pick in round 3. That's why, in my opinion, it's very important to not have to trade up for your guy. So if they're able to get their guy without that, hey, that's a big deal. And what I'm doing with that, I'm drafting best player available on defense in those rounds.